Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Estate Titans podcast. I am your host, Frank Ray, and I'm joined by a very special guest. Of course, as always, I have with me Mauro Vazquez, and he is with the McCall Team Group at Keller Williams in Santa Rosa, California. Mauro, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks so much for having me, Frank.
It's a good pleasure to have you. Thanks for being here. Mauro, we usually just try to find real estate agents that are doing something special, that are producing and doing well and thriving in the market. And you are smack dab at the top of our list, my friend. So we've been anxious to have this conversation with you and just see what you're doing and how you're making this happen. But before we go there, I'm going to let everybody know your numbers. And so last year in 2022, 35 units personally, right? 35 units personally. When I say units, I'm a loan guy. We talk units, transactions, closings, however you want to say it, right? But 35 transactions last year closed. Year to date through the month of June, because we're just started July here when this is being recorded. You've already got 16 on the books. And going strong, my friend. These are notable numbers. And if anybody's familiar with the real estate market and real estate in general, you would know these are notable numbers. These are really, really great numbers. So you're doing really, really good. You're in Santa Rosa. When we were in the green room, as it were, getting started, you kind of told me a little story that there was a point where you felt like you were going to get out of California, but then you changed your mind. And that kind of is instrumental in why you're doing what you're doing right now. Give us that little story real quick.
Yeah. No, totally. I think this would have been maybe right within my first year of being a realtor, almost 7 years ago now. I think I got the grasp of what it took to be a realtor, to do that work.
Yeah.
And then through podcasts, YouTube videos, I started to realize, hold on, I can do this anywhere. It doesn't have to be Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
But around that time, I started traveling a lot more than usual. So I started thinking, hold on, where's a place that I actually want to do this for the rest of my life? I can find somewhere that I could either start a team, grow a firm, be part of a firm, and set my roots. But after doing a lot of traveling, it all dialed back to, gosh, I truly love Santa Rosa. I love Sonoma County. I love the North Bay. And it's so centralized that you couldn't force me to leave. And this would have been 2017 when I was looking at homes in Texas that were worth maybe 300,000. Right now, they're probably doubled. And a lot of that just had to do with my location. So I am about 45 minutes, more about an hour from San Francisco, north of San Francisco. So anytime that I want to experience the city, down the street from me. I'm about 45 minutes from Mendocino County. So anytime that I want to experience some coastal country living, I can go do that. So I feel that I have the best of all worlds here in Sonoma County, Mediterranean weather, a lot of Michelin rated restaurants that I'm a huge foodie. So between restaurants, wine, breweries, distilleries, business opportunities, why would I leave?
Yeah.
It's so much.
It really is. Yeah, I'm in Northern California as well, just so everybody's aware. I'm in the Vacaville, Solano County area. So I would have to agree. It's the Santa Rosa, Sonoma County area is just absolutely, it's really a beautiful, beautiful area, number one. When you're driving around out there and just the like you just said, the landscaping, the landscape, not the landscaping. Yeah, guys, bear with me. But the landscape that you view, is just beautiful out there. And you're right. You can get down to the city, down to the Bay Area. You can get up the coast, along the coast up and through Sea Ranch and all that, and get up there. And it's just absolutely spectacular. Living in California in general is obviously, a lot of people live here. And a lot of people are still moving here. More people are still moving to California than are moving out, by the way. I don't know if you're aware of that, but more people are still, why? And it comes because you could say it's too expensive and all those things, but you know why they move here, Mauro? Is because it's great. It's beautiful. It's a neat place. It's a neat place. Yeah. So let me ask you this. When you decided, hey, I could do this anywhere, and I'm going to go pop around, you mentioned Texas. Was any of that in your opinion economically driven? Maybe I could go do this somewhere else where prices weren't as high, or was it really just a lifestyle that you were looking for where you were going?
Yeah, I think it was more of an experience. The more I started to travel, I think I would have been 22 around that time. So I started exposing myself to other things that I could do that I before weren't tangible. Then all of a sudden here it is. So I thought, I could do this in Orange County. I can do this in Missouri. I can do this in Texas.
Yeah.
Heck, I could do it from Texas, living in Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, something.
Yeah.
So it was just years started turning. Hold on, life is just starting. Where do I want to set my roots?
Yeah.
So that was more the thought process of it, not necessarily economic.
Got it. Got it. So it was really just looking for, where do I really just want to live? And then how funny to leave Santa Rosa to go find it and then just go, I like it back in Santa Rosa. I'm gonna go back to
I
Santa
love
Rosa.
it. No, it's interesting because I service Sonoma County.
Yeah.
So you'll find me one day in the town of Sonoma, Sebastopol, sometimes Novato, which is Marin County, down to Cloverdale. And as I'm driving around appointments, I'm always thinking, you call this work?
Yeah.
This is what tourists, people pay to come out here.
Yeah.
Wine memberships aren't actually that expensive as people would think. So anytime I want to pop by, sit by the pool, enjoy a vineyard, enjoy a meal, I do that every day.
Nice.
It's a dream for me.
You're making me jealous, Mauro. You're making me jealous right now.
We'll host you.
Hey man, let's talk about Santa Rosa proper for now, right?
Mhm.
So for now, Santa Rosa proper. Yeah, what kind of price ranges do we have out there? Is I know obviously Santa Rosa, the Sonoma County area, things are pricey. You are in one of the most beautiful areas in the state of California, right? You're not gonna, that's what it demands, right? That's what it demands. So kind of what do you see price range wise out in Santa Rosa proper?
So in Santa Rosa, I think this would have been, if we're going back to Q3, Q4 of 2022, it fluctuated from the median being 875 to 824, I think it was at Q1 of 2023. And right now we're fluctuating back up to about 850. So
Okay.
850,000, the median in Santa Rosa.
What would you say is, so that's the median. And just so people don't understand median is not average. Median is, if it's 850, that means half the properties in Santa Rosa are valued above 850 and half of them are valued below 850. So that's what median means. For anyone who wasn't quite aware of that. I think a lot of people aren't aware of that. That's what median means. So can you buy a house in Santa Rosa for $500,000 or?
More or less, I think what
You
gets
could?
for
Really?
500,000 right now, you're probably looking at I would probably say something like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath in
Okay.
the JC area that we call the junior college area, which is prime location. It's going to need some TLC, but you'll get some equity.
Okay. So it's possible. There
It's
is.
possible. I mean, the one thing that I preach on, it's always, number one, be ready, right? To find a deal, you gotta be ready. You gotta be
Yeah.
fully approved. Otherwise, you're gonna miss out on the deal. But there's always deals to be made. I pride myself in, if it's not on the market, let me go find it for you. Whether
Gotcha.
that be cold calling, or the thing that I love to do the most is door knocking.
Really? So
Mhm.
this will contribute to the number side of what you do. So you're telling me that if you engage with a person who's like, hey man, Mauro, I do want to live in Santa Rosa, but I'm kind of looking for this thing, right? And if it's not readily available, if I'm a serious person, I'm really looking for this thing, you're willing to get out there and actually knock on a door or two and say, hey man, you thinking on selling?
Well, yeah, just why wouldn't I, right? I tried to, this all happened 7, 8 years ago.
Hmm.
I tried to become valuable to my buyers. And I'm
Hmm.
thinking, how do I become valuable to my buyers when they can look at properties through Zillow? At that point, Purple Bricks was around. So sometimes they didn't even need me. So the
Hmm.
need was the song that I've always heard, low inventory. Fine.
Hmm.
Let me leverage that. Let me go find the inventory. So for me, my ideal buyer is someone that knows what street they want to live in. If I have that neighborhood, I'm door knocking that entire neighborhood because I'm always bound to find, that one neighbor that happens to know everything that's going on in that neighborhood. And that's what I'm looking for. Once I get him, he tells me where to go, who to go talk to. Sometimes I get phone numbers. He tells me, hey, you got to call George down the street. Here's his number. Great. And then I become that almost as specialist in that neighborhood. So door
Wow.
knocking is something that I love to do.
Really? I could, it's so weird. You're describing door knocking to me, which I would normally feel is like something that I don't want to do. Right.
Right? Nobody does.
But the way you're describing it, and especially in the area that you live in, knowing how beautiful it is there. And I can almost see it being like, well, why not? I'm going to get a little exercise. I'm going to get some fresh air. I'm going to take a stroll, meet some people. I'm gonna, put a few hours in, maybe 2 hours, something like that.
If that sometimes we're talking about, I'll give you the perfect example. So I'm working with a couple of buyers out of the Bay Area. They're moving into Santa Rosa. They have identified the neighborhood that they want to be in. I showed them a house down the corner of a cul-de-sac, about 3 houses before the cul-de-sac. They said, Mauro, we like this house, but really, we would love to be in that cul-de-sac.
Hmm.
Great. I decided once they left, I spent maybe 10 minutes door knocking that neighborhood, that cul-de-sac specifically. I met a neighbor, Andrew, says to me, hey, next door it's an Airbnb. Here's their number. Give them a call. They've talked about selling for so many years. Great. Now I got a phone number. Granted, I'm still working on, the conversion, but it only took me maybe 10 minutes. And that's what I consider door knocking.
Yeah.
When I first started my first year, I spent a lot of hours doing so. Now it's legitimately, if I'm driving down a neighborhood for whatever reason, I'm gonna go hang out with friends, and I see someone moving boxes, I'm getting out of the car and I'm talking to them. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It absolutely can be a lot of fun, can't it? It can be. It's mindset, isn't it, Mauro?
It's 100% mindset. As we're talking about that, I think one of the biggest things that brought me, to my stomach, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, when all of a sudden everyone had ratings on their doors, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, the cameras. Yeah.
Yeah, that became the mindset of, oh wow, nobody's gonna want to talk to me now. Now I'm talking to a camera. So that all that was very weird to me.
Yeah.
And we went on to Zoom. Now I got used to talking to cameras.
Yeah.
I'll do my little pitch
Yeah.
in front of a
Talking to
camera.
the doorbell.
Yeah, it works. They got it recorded. Great. Better than a text message.
Oh, I am loving this, man. I'm loving this. You had mentioned when I said, hey, can you buy a house for 500? And you said, yeah, you'd be in this area, which is by the college, a good area. Speaking of areas in Santa Rosa, can you give us kind of just a little overview of the pocket areas that are out there and kind of what they're like? It might be, Santa Rosa is pretty big, so you don't have to get too detailed, but are there maybe 3 or 4 kind of main areas and kind of what they're like? What would, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty simple to break down Santa Rosa actually, because when you think of 101, you have north south, then you have Highway 12 that cuts right through Santa Rosa. So you have quadrants. You have
Oh,
north,
okay.
east,
So you
south,
got north, south, east, west, the
that's
Highway
it.
12 and 101. All right.
That's it. So when you look at return on investment, it's been on average, northeast Santa Rosa tends to get anywhere between 4 to 7% return. From there, it fluctuates a little bit to southeast, then northwest, back to the rest of southeast and southwest, averaging California, return on investment 4% on average. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
all around. I think some of my favorite neighborhoods are definitely neighborhoods like Proctor Terrace, McDonald District. Those are areas that are historical. In that price point, you're now hovering over that 1.2 and above.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, the Proctor Terrace area, you're still getting a good home for about 7 to 900,000, and it's desirable.
In the historic homes that you have out there, are these your Victorian looking
Oh yeah,
golly, I love that stuff, dude,
yeah,
so much.
it's
So beautiful.
every Halloween, if you ever get a chance,
Yeah.
you want to go down McDonald District.
Oh yeah.
It's on McDonald Avenue. I mean, everyone goes all out. I happened to do an open house there during Halloween, so I had a great time. It was awesome.
An open house during Halloween.
Yeah, why not? Right? I mean, it was right around
That's
the
actually quite
Halloween.
brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was passing out candy as a realtor and had a killer open house. So.
That is quite brilliant. And the age of those homes, is that getting back to the 20s or 30s or what do you know?
Yeah, I think, gosh, I want to say one of the oldest areas probably built in the 1800s, late
Okay.
1800s, and that house specifically would have been built in 1905. Which it's funny because every time I think about that house, I think of a gentleman that walked into my open house and he was upset that we were selling a house for 900,000 without a garage. And I thought, huh, they didn't have garages back in the 1900s.
Yeah, I guess not. Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what
Yeah.
always comes back to mind.
Wow, very, very cool, man. I love it, brother. Mauro, you've been really interesting to talk to. I still kind of want to explore if it's okay with you. Obviously, if you're looking to buy or sell and you're in the Santa Rosa area, we're going to give you Mauro's information. It's all here, wherever you're. But why don't we go ahead and get your phone number out of the way, just in case you're being listened to on iTunes or Spotify. So, and somebody's at the point in the broadcast, they're like, "Hey, I want to give this guy a call. What's the best phone number to reach you at?"
So the best phone number is 707-536-5182. Again, that's 707-536-5182.
Okay, great, great. So I want to make sure we got that there for anyone who's thinking buying, selling, that kind of thing. They just want to engage with you. Let's talk a little bit about the business now. You talked about door knocking, and that's how you drum up some business and really make yourself stand out for your buyers, which really does. For an agent to say, "Oh, you want to buy on this street? Well, let me see what I can dig up," and actually go out there and try and dig it up. I think that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty
Yeah.
remarkable. And so there might be some real estate agents listening to this right now as well, Mauro, who maybe are in the Santa Rosa area. Maybe they're looking for a place to go. I know. Are you guys at the McCall team over at Keller Williams? Are you guys looking for other agents by chance right now? Just curious.
Oh, we're that's the one thing that I love about being part of a team. I've been now part of this team going on 7 years. And I don't see myself going anywhere else because we're just growing and growing and growing. We see ourselves, or at least I like to see ourselves from stance of we're a team within a brokerage, but we're our own hub, we're our own brokerage, if you will. So yeah,
Got
we're
you.
always looking to grow. We're looking for part-time, full-time realtors. Anyone that's interested, we're always willing to take on
All
anyone
right.
who wants to grow, in essence.
Excellent. Excellent. So, as far as though your numbers, right? You 35 in 2022, 16 so far this year. The door knocking, very, very cool, very, very cool angle on that. Um, you got anything else that an agent who maybe he's only done 2 deals this year would love to have done 16 so far this year? Anything else you can throw at us like that? Hey, man, in this market and what I'm doing to get the biz is X or Y or Z or something you can, yeah, got a bone you can toss us, Mauro?
Yeah, I think the encouraging part would be anything that you're going to do right now, you're probably not going to bear a lot of that fruit until 3 to 6 months from now. So
Yeah.
you just have to stick to it. Because, I interview a lot of first-time realtors. I talk to them all the time, and I'm not afraid to tell them what they're doing because the majority of the time, are they actually going to do it? No, they're not.
Mm,
The ones that do are successful, and the ones that don't, it's a much majority that won't.
mm,
But in essence, I always look at now, do what you love to do. Whatever that is, do it.
mm,
Get involved. You can do the traditional route, which is door knocking, cold calling, open houses. That still works today. There's no
mm,
question about it. You can do that. That's simple. But then also do something that you enjoy to do. After many years of door knocking, cold calling, and open houses, I was able to build a database enough so to where now I'm doing the fun stuff. Now I've joined a nonprofit that I've been part of now 5 years.
mm,
And within that nonprofit, it raised me to be a better businessman, a better leader
mm,
in all aspects that I get business from that without seeking that business. And in
mm,
return, I'm able to see I'm able to see how I'm helping out our disadvantaged youth within our community.
mm.
So that's become something that I love to do now. I played rugby growing up, so I've had the chance to become a rugby coach. I'm doing stuff that I like.
Mm.
When I do that, business becomes fun. Now you're doing business with people that want you versus people that you're having to convert right through any other sources like cold calling.
Yeah, you're what you're saying, I think I'm picking up what you're putting down, Mauro, right? Which is you're being what is I term and what I've heard others term, you're being engaging in the fact that you're doing things that you like to do where you're connected to other people. right? Where you're surrounded by other people, working with other people, and whether it's the rugby coaching or the nonprofit, whatever it is, you're getting together, you're all working for a cause, but now they know you do real estate, right? And you're on the same, you're sharing the same thing that you like, right, with the others who like it as well, and they know what you do. And so has that been a good way to pick up some biz for you?
Yeah, unintentionally, right? So as an example, we just did the fireworks in Windsor, the town of Windsor. I was part of the nonprofit called 2030 that throws on that event. They put on that event along with the town of Windsor. And here I am having fun with the food vendors. I'm reaching out to restaurants, food trucks, people that I worked with in the past.
Yeah.
Going back to one of our biggest events, Battle of the Brews. It's a big brewery event that we now co-hosted with a barbecue competition. It happens every first week of April. So
Gotcha.
I'm doing stuff that I enjoy doing, eating food and consuming Sonoma County's alcohol, wine, whatever that is. So all that becomes fun. Then at that point, people are able to see, hey, he's pretty responsible. He's on it. So all that leads to,
Yeah.
what do you do for a living? Oh,
Yeah.
I work in real estate.
Mm.
That's when they're able to trust you and like you. And from that,
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of business from.
Yeah. That's a lot different than, trying to convert a realtor.com lead, ain't it?
Oh yeah, but you
Yeah.
still got to go through the ringer. You still got to
Why
go
not? Yeah,
through.
you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
100%. But I like what you laid out for us, which is everybody knows we got to do what we got to do, right? No knock against realtor.com leads. I'm not knocking it at all, right? You just got to work it. If you're going to work it. Zillow leads, whatever you want to do. But and like you said, door knock, open house, all those things, got to do it. But do it with a smile, do it with a great attitude, do it with a terrific mindset. But also lift up your eyes, a little bit, and understand, well, I can do things that I like to do. And that can be a source of, I hate to look at it like, oh, I coach rugby because I want to get real estate leads. That's not it. I coach rugby because I like rugby, right?
Yeah.
And I get to meet friends and and get to know people and stuff. Am I probably going to pick up a deal or two in a year, for the year from that? Good chance.
Possibly.
Good chance I
Absolutely.
might. Yeah. But it's just great to be out there and be involved and be engaged and that kind of thing. Super cool.
Yeah, that's when it truly becomes a lifestyle, right? You're now just,
Yeah.
if real estate is my focus at the moment, and that's when I get to enjoy. This is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Great life.
Yeah. Cool stuff, man. What's in the future for you? What's going on? How's the rest of the year look to you? How are you feeling about it?
Well, I just my birthday was yesterday, so I'm 30 now, and it's been quite the journey. And now I'm thinking, okay, the last 7 years have flown by super quick. What's tomorrow going to do here in the next 5 years?
Mm.
I think the future for me definitely holds a lot of real estate. My focus is the next 5 years, crush it in real estate. I want to become a super titan like the people that you've interviewed before, and just do different things with that income, right? Do things like, we've got my assistant. He ran a couple of senior assisted living centers. He has that knowledge. I would love to get into that industry. Even daycare centers, stuff like that. I want to definitely experience it.
That's cool. Yeah, because you're not looking at real estate in that regard as paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. You're looking at it as build a legacy, and then what can I do? That's actually technically kind of still real estate related, but expand out and be involved in real estate as a investor in real estate, as a right that
That's
kind of a
right.
thing.
Yeah, I love transactions. I love to be transaction based.
Mm.
However, I can't see myself doing this for the rest of 30 years from now.
Sure.
It's a lot of work. So I still will do it. Like Gary Keller said, it's interesting because I have different avenues, but when I die, I want my tombstone to say, I don't want a tombstone, I want a for sale sign. Because real estate allowed me to do everything else. It allowed me to venture out into so many other industries.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Mauro Vazquez, everybody. Mauro, thanks so much, man, for
No, likewise, I enjoy being here. Thank you, Frank.
yeah, it was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it from every angle that we covered. It was just really, really fun. So Mauro Vazquez with McCall Team Group at Keller Williams in Santa Rosa. Give us the number one more time, Mauro. 707.
707-536-5182. And I'll throw the plug in there. You guys can follow me on Instagram. That is Mauro de Sonoma. So that's Mauro, Mauro, DeSonoma. And that's when you get quite the experience of what Sonoma County's like.
Love it, man. Thanks so much. Well, there you go, guys. Mauro Vazquez. Mauro, been a great pleasure. And for the rest of you, I hope you tune in again here at the Real Estate Titans podcast. If you'd like to be on the Real Estate Titans podcast, or you know somebody who should be, reach out to Bill Crossan, 707-220-1444. With that, we're going to get on out of here and do it again next time. We'll catch y'all later. Adios. See you, Mauro.